interrupt your program to bring you this important podcast. How to 911.
Can you put me out of service on a podcast, please?
Hi guys, we're back.
Ta-da.
Surprise. It's a surprise to me. Hopefully not a surprise to you. You've been looking forward to this, I hope. But this is episode 2. Very important episode. I'm sorry, who is this person sitting across from me?
Oh, it's Erica.
It's Erica. Just a quiet little mouse over here. Just lets me ramble on.
I love the rambles.
Yay. Episode 2. I'm not going to call it episode. I'm going to call it what I put on paper. PSA number 2. What do 911 operators do?
What do they do?
It's not what they do on television, per se.
Probably not.
Probably not. Definitely not. So I'm probably going to cut this into 2 episodes. I will give you a for sure answer and edit right here. Hey guys, it's Sami. I'm editing episodes and I just was getting to this episode and realized that I had to insert that this is indeed going to be a 2-parter if you didn't already get that from the episode title. So yeah, be looking forward to the next one in a couple of weeks. I will let you get back to it. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye. Trying to stay on track on this as well as give you an accurate picture as to what's going on is difficult, and I want to make sure that we do it right to give you to give 911 operators the justice they deserve for their jobs.
Yeah.
Yes. So here at Loveland Emergency Communications Center, we dispatch for Loveland Police, Loveland Fire Rescue Authority, Thompson Valley Emergency Services, as well as Berthoud Fire. I don't know their official title like I did all the others. Berthoud
Fire Department.
Berthoud Fire Department.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We still love you. We really do. But we dispatch for all 4 of those agencies, and it can get a little hectic at times because beyond popular belief, we are not just sitting in a large room in the middle of somewhere dispatching for the whole nation. God, that would be awful. Could you imagine?
We are sitting in a large room. It's a medium-sized room somewhere.
Probably the size of like your living room.
Yeah, good living room.
A 5-family house living room.
Yes,
Decent living room.
And those 4 agencies, I'm not sure if you will mention this in future episodes, but we dispatch for the southern half. That's not how you say half. The southern half of Larimer County, which is a pretty big county.
Right, because north of us is Fort Collins, and they take care of that.
Mm-hmm. And we go, Berthoud Fire goes just a teeny bit into the top of Boulder County. Mm-hmm. So we have a very large
and sometimes to the
area.
Far western area of Weld County.
Or Larimer County.
No, Weld County.
Far west Weld? Oh, I get what you're saying. Weld. I thought you were saying like mountains.
No. Like far west Weld
like
County. Very
yes.
Like border-ish of Weld. We do a lot of mutual aid. That crosses those borders a lot.
We'll help.
Yeah, we help out. We're nice people.
I bet Sami will go over what mutual aid is in future episodes.
I will. Sorry to confuse you. I'm trying really hard not to use like fancy talk. It's not really fancy. I'm sure it's the basis of understanding of what mutual aid is. You guys aren't stupid, I am. But
no one's stupid.
Yeah, it'll be.
Remember those questions that we have every day?
Right.
It's part of it.
It's part of it. Yeah, that'll definitely be another episode because that's something that took a lot for my brain to understand about mutual aid because I was used to dispatching for an agency that did everything. So having to be like, wait, we don't do that here was really weird. What? But we do it only sometimes. It was weird. Poor Erica had to deal with me. So we dispatch for those 4 agencies, and we're not in a big room. We're in Loveland, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's it. That's what we serve. Okay.
2 episodes long. I watched 4 minutes. I didn't think I could do it.
You did it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just spurt out a bunch of information.
Spurt it.
That you guys, I don't expect you to memorize, and these could change at any time. So don't hold me to it, because, you know, staffing levels, God, accents are just coming through, and I don't know where they're coming from.
What accents are they even?
No. Staffing levels change all the time, especially in a dispatch center. You know, we can hire 3 people, and they get through training, and then 2 people leave. You know, it's like one of those things, like, life happens.
Mm-hmm.
We get it. Sometimes this job isn't for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's totally fine. So currently, for minimum staffing levels, from the hours of 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., we have a minimum of 3 dispatchers on at a time. From 11 to 9, we have a minimum of 4 dispatchers on at a time. And then from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., we have a minimum of technically 4 dispatchers, but for about 4 of those hours, we're down to 3 because of lunch breaks. So that's kind of not here or there. And then from the hours of 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., we have 2 dispatchers on at a time, which that doesn't sound like a whole lot, does it? And believe it or not, there are agencies that only run on 1 dispatcher. You know, obviously that's the smaller agencies, like Estes Park, I believe they only have 1 dispatcher on a time usually.
I think CSU PD does too.
Yeah, God, that sounds awful. Sorry, guys. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, that's impressive.
It's so impressive. I don't know how I could do this job without my partners.
Yeah.
Good for you. On to the next. So...
May I interrupt?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Very quickly.
I love the math that you did as I was, like, trying to remember how staffing works.
Go get it, girl. So I was counting. We have 17 dispatchers, fully trained, work every channel that we have.
Including supervisors?
No, but I will get to that.
Oh, okay. Oh, my God. See? Look at you.
We have 2 in training right now, and like Sammy said, that changes all the time. We had 3, now we have 2. So we have technically an opening, but that's, you know, will get filled hopefully eventually.
And we'll tell you when we're hiring in a later episode.
We have 1 manager who is a lieutenant, and then we have 3 supervisors. And our supervisors are also able to do or train just like we are, so they can do any job whenever we need them to, and they do work the console a lot. So we have 20 people that could work a shift at any time if we needed them to.
Yeah. Which comes in handy with, like, a few years ago when we had the flood, and, you know, people had been called in. It was crazy.
We're working 12-hour shifts. We have 10 consoles. All 10 consoles were
packed.
Yeah. People answering phones. It's just, yeah, a lot of fun stuff.
A lot of fun.
All right, so thank you.
Yeah.
Staffing numbers.
Yeah. Perfect. Don't expect you guys to remember that, and I'm not going to go over each staffing level with each circumstance that we do. I'll fill in and be like, at this time this person's going to do that, but when I talk about the whole chunk of it, I'm going to not do that, just to not confuse you guys, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We do work 10-hour shifts here at this communications center. Some centers do 8 hours, which, God, that sounds awful. Working a normal 8-hour shift when you work 10 hours 4 days a week.
So different. Yeah.
Awful. My previous agency, we worked 12-hour shifts.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, but one day I got a 4-hour day. But then it literally seemed like a waste of a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so it just depends on, like, what the center's needs are, and it just so happens that the center's works very well with 10-hour shifts, and we like it, I think.
Yeah.
You and I like it. That's all that matters,
yeah.
Right? Perfect. So we also have breaks that we cover during those staffing levels. We, working 10-hour shifts, we do get an hour, quote-unquote, break. breaks are not guaranteed in this job, just because it's 911. You don't know when things are going to happen, like a flood, and you don't get a break, you know? Yep. You got to help out with your job. So it's not always guaranteed. Obviously, we do bathroom breaks, we do food breaks, like we have to eat, we have to do things like normal humans.
To walk.
So we can't just sit at a console all day long. Sounds great when you're watching TV, but not so much when you're working, right? So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
but I don't remember what I was saying. You guys are gonna hear me say that a lot, and I think I'm just gonna stop editing it out.
Just get used to it.
Just get used to it.
All right, we got.
I said that a lot during training too. I say that a lot when I'm working. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying.
It is true.
But I do. I know what I'm doing. It's
just a way to get back on track.
Yep.
Look, and now we're back on track. Call takers.
Call takers.
Wait.
No, we skipped bullet points.
You did?
Yeah. So, from the hours of.
Oh, okay.
7 to 11, we have 3 dispatchers. I told you that earlier. One is they're not doing anything. They're taking phone calls. The other one is backup phones and doing fire and ambulance radios. And then the third dispatcher is doing PD radio. Then when we have 4 people on shift from 11 to basically until 3 a.m., remember, give or take breaks. One dispatcher is call taker. One dispatcher is fire and ambulance radios. The third dispatcher is doing what we call a PD data channel. And then the fourth dispatcher is straight PD channel for the radios. And then when we're down to 2 dispatchers, that's where things get so fun. We have one dispatcher that's doing call taking and fire and ambulance radios. And then the other dispatcher is doing both the police data and main channel. So, yeah. Now we're going to go into it. Now we're going to dive into what the call taker does, because that's what you see in the movies. That's what you see in the TV shows. You see people taking these phone calls. This is what you hear on the news. Mm-hmm. You hear the recordings. But what is it? I'm glad you asked.
It's fantastic.
So great question. It's fantastic. So the main priority for a call taker is emergency lines, which is those 911 calls. We also get in things that we also consider emergent lines, such as text to 911. We have our TDD line, which is...
Not sure what TDND stands for, but it's for the deaf and hard of hearing community.
Perfect. I thought Erica was going to say the name of that one, but she didn't. Good thing we have technology.
I was like Googling it.
Google it. But yeah, we have those, and that is for the hearing impaired. They can call into 911 just like everybody else can using TDD. And it does ring in as a 911. We treat it like a 911. Mm-hmm. Nothing different. And then we have our alarm lines, which is just how it is. Like, you have an alarm company, and businesses, a burglar alarm, fire alarm, there's those life alert, like medical alarms. All of those ring into us as well, as long as you've set it up correctly with your alarm company. They call into us, they tell us what's happening, we treat those as emergencies as well. Or emergent lines, I guess I should say. Mm-hmm. Did you look it up?
Yeah, and it's so simple. It's telecommunications device for the deaf. TDD.
We've learned so much today.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really think that is the first time I've ever... I was like, oh yeah, TDD, deaf and hard of hearing. But I didn't
Right.
need the TDD, and now I do. Now I get it. It makes sense.
Everything makes sense.
Ta-da.
And then we have our... let me back up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So for our quote-unquote emergent lines, we answer those by the first ring, to the best of our ability, depending on what's going on in the center. And by first ring, I mean when it comes into the center. It might be ringing for you a couple of times, just because it's technology. It has to get to the tower. It has to get to us. It has to do all of those other cool things that we're going to go into in another episode. But, like, first ring into us, we answer it. Again, if we're not all tied up on 911 lines, if we're not on radio traffic, if there's also circumstances of overflow, which I'll get into another one. Like, everything we'll just get into in another episode. This is it.
I should be making notes of another episode. I heard an episode.
Please do it, because I'll forget.
Okay, good.
But basically, that's maximum 2 rings. If it's past that, then we're really hurting for something, because we must be really busy.
Must be really busy.
We must be really busy. So then our non-emergent... It's that accent again. You know what? At other agencies, we have what we call our ring down, which is what, like, Fort Collins and Larimer and Weld and...
CSU and Estes Park.
CSU and Estes Park. They hardly ever call us, so I'm sorry. I didn't mean to forget about you guys.
When they do something, I feel like something big is happening.
Literally. Especially when Estes Park calls.
Yeah, like, oh boy.
No, I was just about to say that.
Something bad is happening.
Flood part 2. Something very bad is happening.
If Estes needs us to go up and assist.
Major fire.
Yep. Car accident. Dive rescue.
We just went out there the other week for a car accident, and they had dispatch for it, and I felt so bad for that dispatcher. I was like, oh my god, how is she doing this right now? How are you doing this by yourself?
Impressive.
So impressive. But, so those calls that come in from other agencies, we also technically consider, like, emergency, because they're calling us for a reason as well. Like I said, Estes Park, there's a huge fire. That's an emergency. Like, we need to get there and help them as soon as possible. Fort Collins might need help with, they're out of ambulances, and they have calls that just kept coming in, and we're gonna let them borrow an ambulance. Yep. So just things like that. So non-emergent calls. That's going to be the phone number that we gave to you in the introduction. It is also listed in the description of this episode, and it does... Dropped my pen. It does lead you to a phone tree. It's the option for dispatch, whatever that option is. And so those can be put on hold at any moment. Not any moment because we feel like it. It's because we actually need to put you on hold.
There's a good reason.
There's a good reason. Because if the call taker is on a non-emergent line and her partner, that was very sexist of me, and their partner is dispatching a medical call that they just dropped, or somebody's asking for whatever. Editing. I'm gonna be so good at editing.
To be fair, we're 97% hers, so
here,
yeah,
at this communications center,
and that's what we're talking about.
So if Erica is on a non-emergent number, call. If Erica's on a non-emergent line, and I'm dispatching a medical call, and a 911 comes in, Erica knows that I'm not going to pick that up because I'm dispatching a medical call. I'm not just going to be like, hold on, ambulance. I know you want to go help this person, but I got to take this call. That's not how it works. So Erica is going to be like, I'm sorry, I have to take a 911 call, hold. And she'll put you on hold and take the 911. That's why we have non-emergent lines and emergent lines.
Yep.
Yeah, that's literally it. Or you call in and all of our other partners are on emergency lines, and you got to the PD dispatch on a non-emergent line, and PD dispatcher is going to be worried about her officers. There we go again. Is going to be worried about their officers, and so she... I quit. I'm so sorry. We are literally a center that has one male dispatcher, and he's new. So it's so hard for me to not say her or she, because in my head I'm picturing everybody that I work with. I'm sorry.
And,
I apologize. There are male dispatchers. I'm so sorry.
Just not at this agency.
Not at this agency. I'm sorry, Tyler. Don't listen to this. They're never going to let me go through with this podcast.
Maybe you'll just need revisions. They'll be like, actually, don't say this.
You giggle a lot, and we need you to just be serious.
I was like, I'm sorry.
No, I hope that they're okay with us having fun. Anyways, so you get to the PD dispatcher, and they're going to be worried about their officers, because their officers are pulling traffic. So they're going to be like, Loveland Police Department, can you hold, please? And if you say yes, they'll put you on hold. If you say no, this is an emergency,
Mm-hmm.
or for some reason you didn't call 911 and someone's dying or you need emergency assistance, they're going to stay on the line with you.
Yes.
So please don't feel obligated to be put on hold if there's literally an emergency where you need assistance now. We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We're good at that.
Don't feel it just because they say, can you hold, don't say yes when you can't. Because
Right.
I feel like some people have.
When literally someone's bleeding out in front of you,
Yes.
don't say yes. Like,
Because you can't.
right, because you can't. Please call 911 if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Also, tangent.
Do it.
So if someone calls here and says, I need the number for Las Vegas, Nevada, because my friend just texted me and says they're hurt and they can't call 911 for whatever reason, I can't transfer 911 callers across state lines. I don't have the capability. 911 doesn't have the capability. Hopefully in another episode we'll get into all the things we can't do and why we need to fund 911 better. Tangent. But if you call and say that, I'm going to give you the non-emergent number to that other agency and I'm going to tell you to tell them it's an emergency. So if someone was calling me from Nevada, they said, hey, and I say, Loveland, please can you hold? And they say, no, my friend is sick and I need an ambulance. I'm not in state and I can't call 911.
Right.
So there's an example of where just keep me on the phone, say, no, you can't hold, and we'll get you help.
Literally just say, no, it's an emergency.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be like, okay.
Yep.
That's my job.
And then we'll go into, like the first episode said, what's the address of the emergency?
Right.
Go from there.
Perfect. I feel like we're kind of overlapping a little bit, but more on putting calls on hold if the call, okay, I'm going to try, pause, thought process. If the dispatcher you reach when you ring in is handling a radio, and they have to dispatch on that radio, or they have to get radio traffic, they can say, hold on for me just a second, and they'll put you on hold. Or do what I do, and I just mute myself and hope that I unmute in the correct times. I don't like the hold button. It drives me crazy. I feel like I'm going to forget about people.
Yeah.
Which
That is a possibility
is
if you're
a
busy.
possibility. If you're busy. If you're busy.
And we have the technology at this center. Other centers don't. Our phone and our radio both come in to our headset, our microphone, and our ear set.
My ears?
My ears. So I can keep an open line with you and talk on the radio. It sounds like we blink out for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You just have dead air, but I'm still with you the whole time, and I will probably tell you that.
Right.
I'll say how you'll hear me click off for a second, but I'm talking to my radio, or on my radio, and I'll be right back to you.
Right. And just because we're clicking out and you can't hear us doesn't mean we can't hear you.
Yes.
Because you're still in my ear, and my radio is now on a speaker, which you'll probably be able to hear because I need to hear it, so...
It's loud.
It's sometimes too loud, but that's fine because it's important to listen to, so just remember that we can hear you still, so just be nice to us.
Yeah.
Also, if your dispatcher that you're on the phone with if they're on med radio and they need to dispatch out an ambulance call, we're all cross-trained to be able to do everything here, so one of our partners will be like, hey, do you need me to dispatch that for you? Like, we're really good at teamwork here. I love it. Everyone's really good at picking up your calls or picking up your radio traffic. That really should have been a general thing. That's not really a call taker thing. It's a general thing. We're good at teamwork.
We are good at teamwork.
Just remember that. And not all centers are like this because not all centers are in the same room like we are, so keep that in mind.
Or cross-trained.
Some
people just answer the phones. Some people just dispatch for EMS.
Like, that's how Denver is.
Yeah.
Denver 911, they have straight call takers, they have straight radio dispatchers, they have straight fire dispatchers, and they have straight ambulance dispatchers.
Not here, because we're so little.
We're little.
Little.
Yes. I I feel like I'll get into that another day. Yes, so that's basically the call to your role. Do you think anything that needs to be added for that? No?
Nope. I think you hit it.
Cool. So fire EMS radio. So like I said earlier, they do backup phones. They dispatch the medical and fire calls. They keep up with the radio traffic after they've dispatched calls, or sometimes radio traffic comes up when we haven't dispatched a call.
That's true.
It happens a lot. Fire will come up on the radio and be like, hey, show us out on a citizen assist for this address. And it happens because you guys called the fire department. You're like, I know where the station is. I know the phone number. I'm just going to call them. That's totally fine because they're going to help you.
Yeah.
They tell us where they're at. That's basically that. So we just have to always be paying attention to our radios. And that's something that's lots of training and lots of time.
Lots of training. Also, I will mention that we, again, this is specific to LECC, we follow our units when we tell them to go to a different channel. So they're going to be expecting us to be on a different channel. And I don't know if you want to say we dispatch on one channel and then we have them click their little, they're not little, but their radios to a different channel and we follow them to a different channel. And when they get to a house fire or something, they'll give us a scene size up and they'll give us that description. So that's why we that's keeping up with that radio traffic.
Right.
Specifically.
And it sometimes can become a lot to juggle, especially for the fire EMS dispatcher, because there's basically 3 channels that we monitor. Would you say that's safe to say?
Okay.
I mean, it's not, we have a lot more that we monitor, but most of the time. When
they're out. And
when they're out, we monitor 3 channels. I like how Erica's just like, wish you saw her face. But for the most part, we monitor 3 channels. So we have a lot more that we monitor because of, like we said earlier, mutual aid.
Yeah.
We dispatch for canyon fire that has to be on a different radio channel because they're out there in the middle of nowhere. For like out of town transfers, they go on a different channel. Like, it's just different radios for different circumstances, and we monitor all of them when the circumstances come up. But for the most part, there's 3 channels that we monitor all the time. And if we have a house fire on one channel, a medical call on another channel, we're going to pull up a 4th channel if another fire call comes in, because that house fire call is going to take up the main radio traffic for that channel that it's on. So there could be a time where we're monitoring 4 radio channels at once with up to 10 to 15 units depending on what's going on. So that can be kind of chaotic, and so taking backup phones might not be the best idea at that time. So that's another thing where teamwork comes in, where like your partners are going to help with phones and pick up that slack, because you don't want to miss important radio traffic where a firefighter might be trapped. God forbid, because I couldn't even imagine if that happened. Anyways, sad part of 911.
Yes.
Medical, they don't really get into crazy situations. They're not going to get trapped in a burning building, fingers crossed. But we still have to keep up with them because, if they're out on a call on their own, we just want to make sure that they're okay. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
But they're pretty quiet most of the time.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So being on the phone versus having radio traffic, which one's more important?
Ooh.
What do you think?
Depends.
Perfect answer. It depends, because if we're on a 911 doing CPR, that radio traffic's going to have to wait. Thank God for partners.
Teamwork.
Yes, because your partners can pick up that radio traffic. It's just one of those things. If you're telling us about a noise complaint and my firefighter comes up and he wants to give us a scene size up for the house that's burning, I'm going to put you on hold. So it's just one of those things where we, through our training, have learned this priority level of what is more important of a priority? My firefighters at a house fire, or are you telling me about a dog barking? Which is totally fine. You can tell me all about the dog barking. I don't mind, but understand that I am a little bit more concerned about my firefighters that are going into a burning building.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind when I tell you I have to catch my radio traffic, or, you know, my police officers are trying to get a hold of me. Just be patient with us. We're doing it for a reason, because you don't know what's going on our side of the building.
Of the headset?
On our side of the headset, because you don't need to know all that stuff. That's what we're here for. So,
and if it was your house that was burning down, you would want us to put someone else on hold.
No, totally.
So you could get that
100%. If it was your loved one that was on the floor, unconscious, not breathing, you would want us to take that priority.
Right.
So just remember to put yourselves in that shoe. Just one shoe, not the other one.
Just for a split second.
Just a split second.
Just one shoe, one moment.
It. And I ended with teamwork. Literally makes the dream work. Estes Park, I don't know how you do it. Okay, guys, I think that about covers it.
Yes.
Yes. It's like we never left.
Never.
Next week, we are going to be having another yet again important episode, which is going to be the second half of this part. So you better listen, because it's the more entertaining of the two parts. I'm just kidding. If I read into the future correctly, it's going to be super entertaining, because there's a lot of statistics that we throw out there, and like fun facts about how police work is a little bit, I wouldn't say more dangerous, but it's dangerous in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a script in front of me. I didn't plan this out very well, but I'm pretty sure I asked for you guys to subscribe.
Yep.
And then I asked for you to follow and like us on Facebook at Loveland Emergency Communications Center.
Perfect.
And I tell you what we're doing next time. I already told you that. So I think that's it.
That's it.
Wait, no, wait.
Gotta say your little phrase.
I gotta say the phrase. I don't remember it. Hold on. Tell me. Wait, no. Know exactly where you are. Wait.
No. Wait. Know exactly where. Wait.
Maybe Erica should do it this time.
She's not doing so good when she says wait. Wait. Know where you are, know your phone number, and tell us exactly what happened.
Yeah.